Shalom, shalom. I'd like to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. Peace, blessing, and safety to all the Akim out there pushing this truth throughout the four corners of the earth, to the hopeful elect out there. This is the brother Hadabyar coming back at you with another one. And what sparked this lesson is, just thinking that and it was also from camp yesterday, that this walk, following, after Yahweh Hashem Shai, being a disciple, being a prophet for Yahweh Hashem Shai, this is no job, for the weak. This is a this is only for people. So okay, this is only for men. This is a man's job. Yahweh Shai doesn't want no fake ass or weak prophets and soldiers. We are to be confident, and strong in this thing. That's why a lot of people, when they come into the truth, they fall out. They think just because they know they're an Israelite, just because they know the names of the Father Yahweh and the Son Yahweh Shai, that everything is just smooth. It's a smooth cakewalk after that. But no, things get tough, things get hard, and you're not we are not to have that woe is me spirit. We have to be strong in this thing. So this is not for the weak. This is only for the strong. The weak are gonna go fall to that MOTB. The weak are gonna let their family or their woman, or their job, or just the things of this life hinder them from following Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So anyways, I want to start off with Jeremiah verse 1, and I'll start at verse 16. And I will utter my judgments against them touching all their wickedness, who have forsaken me, and have burned incense unto other gods, and worshipped the works of their own hands. So all this false idolizing, false worshiping, that's what 2/3 of our people, are caught up in. That's the point. Verse 17, though therefore gird up thy loins, and arise, and speak unto them all that I command thee. Be not dismayed at their faces, lest I confound thee before them. So, when it says, grind up thy loins, you got to prepare for battle. Prepare for the spiritual warfare that we're gonna go up against. Be prepared for the hard, difficult times that are going to come, because there's nothing easy. There's nothing easy about being a servant unto Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. It's not easy. If it was easy, everyone would do it. If it was easy, then you wouldn't have 2/3. You wouldn't have the 1/3, because it's tough. It's hard. It's not for everyone. Like it says, many are called, but few are chosen. And we pray to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai that we are of that chosen. We are of that hopeful elect. And this truth, it puts that manly spirit on you, if you didn't already have, because the way this world is run, you know, it's that queen spirit, you know, where the man has no say. The woman is running the show. But no, that's not the case, you know. So to say that, in this truth, in this walk, you got to get ready. You got to get ready for the tough and hard times, the hard decisions. Verse 18. For behold, I have made thee this day a defense city, and an iron pillar and brazen walls against the whole land, against the kings of Judah, against the princes thereof, against the priests thereof, and against the people of the land. And they shall fight against thee, but they shall not prevail against thee, for I am thee, said the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, to deliver thee. So, the Lord is going to deliver us, out of this place, and he's always with us. He's gonna be with us. This is 2 Timothy 2:3, and just straight to the point. Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahushai and Mashiach. So we have to endure, constantly endure. The Lord is not looking for no weak men, for no weak followers. He's looking for strong men. Obviously there we have women that are followers as well and that believe in Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, but this is more geared toward the the prophets, and that is the men, that is the man. So we have to endure this, the hardness, endure the very difficult things that we face, because it's not easy. It's not easy. This is, like I keep saying, I'm probably going to title this is not for the weak. Because things are only gonna get harder. This is Proverbs 24:10. If thou faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small. Yeah, so the Lord is gonna, Yahweh Shem Yahshai is gonna, have us go through many trials and tribulations, just like how Job allowed so like Yahweh Shai allowed Satan to to plague Job, with many different things. And Job, his faith did not faint, through all the struggle, through all that the stuff that he had to go through, and that's how we are to be. We can't, we all go through many things, but we just have to, constantly push through. Understand what we are in. Understand what we are trying to obtain. If it was easy, it would be for everybody. And how, and how truly blessed we are to have this truth, to have the faith in Yahweh Shem Yahushai. That's a blessing, because not a lot of people out there don't have it. I was just thinking about that today, like, how you can't take this truth for granted. You really can't. So many people come and go. Even being part of a camp, can't take that for granted. I was kind of meditating on that today, because down down here in Toronto, Canada, part of a camp, and I was just thinking, man, like, I was just saying, just giving praise to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, just how thankful you know, that I am, that you know, that he you know, that he's blessed me, you know, with that opportunity to be around, you know, other men of the same faith, and that all believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You know, that's something special. That's something special. And that you know, that strengthens you up, you know, that gives you more faith, that gives you more confidence. You know, being around the brothers, being out there on the highways and hedges, reading the scriptures, you know, it's great. And you know, that's all, you know, and I think, and that in itself, you know, it isn't easy. You know, it requires, you know, a lot of sacrifice. You know, clearing your schedule for camp days. You know, yes, you know, sometimes stuff happen, but you know, for the most part, you know, you clear your days. You have to endure, you know, the elements, the cold, the rain, that hot sun. But you know, it's beautiful, and like I said, you know, only the strong, you know, only the strong and faithful are going to be able to endure such things. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 2, starting at verse 1. My son, if thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thy heart aright and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble. So, you know, don't get too down on yourself. You know, don't lose the faith when the difficult times are you know, come, or when, you know, different battles happen. You know, and even with me, you know, I have to tell myself, you know, not to worry. You know, don't that worry demon, you know, is strong, and just and you know, I have to, you know, remind myself, you know, just, you know, lean on Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Me worrying isn't gonna do nothing, but you know, mess with my head. So it's just better to just, you know, pray and just, you know, let Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, you know, lead the way, and take control. And, you know, he will make manifest what, you know, his will is, you know, because everything he does is perfect. Verse 3, cleave unto him and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end. Whosoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully and be patient when thou art changed to a low state. And you know, that's true, because you know, we be going through things, and you know, sometimes you just have to laugh. You know, you don't even get upset. You just have to laugh, understand it, move forward, keep pushing. You know, stay strong. Don't get weak. You know, the Lord, you know, he showed that signs of weakness. The Lord could just, you know, just he could just be done with you. You know, and then it's the next man up. Verse 5, for gold is tried in the fire, an acceptable man in the furnace of adversity. Believe in him, and that he will help thee. Order thy way aright, and trust in him. So that's the key. You know, constantly supposed to trust in Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Just like you know, when that C-19 happened, you know, a lot, you know, a lot of people, you know, a lot of people in the truth, you know, definitely not in GMS though, you know, took that jabby. And that's because these false leaders are telling their congregation to take it. Where was the faith? You know, they got weak. You know, they seen the media, they seen the so-called reports, and you know, they chose not to believe in their power. You know, and that's a weak mindset. Yahushua ain't dealing with you if that's how you're thinking. I'm telling you that's, you know, when that MOTB comes out, even leading up to the MOTB, when things just start popping off, and you know, the prophecies just they start to speed up. You know, a lot of people, you know, we're really gonna gonna see, who's weak and who's strong. We're really gonna see who really, truly believes in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. This is Matthew 16 and 24. This is in the NLT. Then Yahushai said to his disciples, if any of you wants to be my follower, you must turn from your selfish ways. Take up your cross and follow me. If you, so that's the thing, you gotta bear it. Yahushai went through it. So, like it says, the servant is not greater than his master. So, what the Lord went through things, we're gonna have to go through the same things too. Yahushai was strong. He was never he never came off as weak and any of the things that he was faced while he was here on earth. He believed in the Father, Yahweh. He understood, what had to be done, and he pushed through, and he did it for our sake too. So we're to do the same. Verse 25: if any man try to hang onto your, so like if you try to hang onto your life, you will lose it. But if you give up your life for my sake, you will save it. And what do you benefit if you gain the whole world but lose your own soul? Is anything worth more than your soul? We have got to give up the things of this world. Understand that. For the Son of Man will come with his angels and the glory of his Father, and will judge all people according to their deeds. And I tell you the truth, some standing here right now will not die before they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom. That's beautiful. Yes, some of us will have to die for the name of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai and be that sacrifice, but some of us won't. Some of us are gonna, these bodies is gonna see it to the very end. And either way it's beautiful, because just the the main point is to see it through the end, whether that is through death or whether that is going up in those chariots, just truly believing and trusting in Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. This is Matthew 7 and 13. This is in the NIV. And you see the heading, the narrow and wide gate. Enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. So many, because that that broad gate, it's easy to go through. It's not difficult. But small is the gate and narrow is the road that leads to life, and only a few find it. Yeah, only the elect. Only the elect are going to be able to go through that narrow road. Only them are going to be, strong enough to be able to endure what comes through going through that narrow gate. The weak are going to go through that broad gate because it's easy. It doesn't require sacrifice. It doesn't require change. It doesn't require holding yourself accountable for things and trying to do better. So that the elect are gonna choose that narrow road which leads to life, because that broad road only leads to one thing, and that's destruction. That's it only leads to judgment. This is just another. Let me get this. So this is 2 Corinthians chapter 4, starting at verse 8. We are troubled on every side, yet not distressed. We are perplexed, but not in despair. Persecuted, but not forsaken. Cast down, but not destroyed. So, these are things that you're gonna go through, you know. The Satan is gonna try knock you down, try to test you, and at the end of the day, that's all through the Most High, because nothing can't be done without him giving the go. So it's everything is is a test, and just have to, you got to get through it. Verse 10, always bearing about in the body and dying of the Lord Yahweh Shai, that the life also of Yahweh Shai might be made manifest in our body, for which live are always for we which live are always delivered unto death for Yahweh Shai's sake, that the life also of Yahweh Shai might be made manifest in our mortal flesh. So then death worketh in us, but life in you. Yeah, because that's where life is. Life is in Yahweh Shai. He is the life. Everything else leads to death. Yahweh Shai is the following Yahweh Shai leads to eternal life. Where's that? Verse 13. We having the same spirit of faith, according as it is written, I believed and therefore have I spoken. We also believe and therefore speak, knowing that he which riseth up the Lord Yahweh Shai shall rise up also by Yahweh Shai and shall present us with you. For all things are for your sake, that the abundant grace might through the thanksgiving of many redound to the glory of the Most High. For which cause we faint not, but through our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. Let's see our spirit in this word, day by day, it is being renewed. That because that's what's important. Is that spirit, not our, not our outward, you know, body in the sense. Yes, we're gonna go through many things, like I said, but it's about it's about our what's inside, and it's our spirit, and in each day by day, we gotta get stronger and stronger and stronger in this faith and believe, because these bodies are nothing, you know, they're really nothing, they're fragile, but what's important is our spirit. Our spirit our spirit and trust in Yahweh Shem El Shai, will help us get through, the difficult, things. Verse 17, for our light affliction, which is but for a moment, worketh for us far more exceeding than the eternal weight of glory. Because what we're going through right now is only, it ain't forever. And all praise to Yahweh Shem El Shai for that. These things that that afflict us, these things that we have to go through, this is not forever. The kingdom is coming. Yahweh Shai is coming. New bodies, perfection is coming. So that that uplifts us. That that gives us more faith and belief. A lot of I'm not like sometimes you be out there and you're just looking at these people and they have no idea, man. They're just so they're just so satisfied with the way Esau's running things. Jake loves living under Esau. These heathens. Can't wait till Yahweh Shai comes back and gets all the praise and honor that he deserves, and people will recognize the power that we serve and the power that we've chose to follow. It's beautiful. Verse 18, while we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. And that's exactly it. Because 2/3 of our people, they lack that vision. All they see is the way things are now. But we see Yahushai, we see King David, we see the elect, running things in righteousness. We see these heathens, living under us. We see Esau in captivity. We see these things. We understand it. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this. The point is, that this walk, this truth, believing and trusting in Yahweh Shem Yahushai, with everything. This is not for the weak. This is only for the serious, strong men that truly believe in Yahweh Shem Yahushai. So I'd like to give all praise and honor and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim Rakakudash, and double honors to the apostles, elders, and bishops of Great Millstone. Lord willing, this was edifying. Until the next one, Shalom.